Sorry, I was just doing a live on Instagram.
Nice.
Good morning, everybody.
It always amazes me. Quite a few people don't have Insta, so they say, "Oh, apparently she's on live on Insta." And people say, "Oh no, she's not." Hi, Tim Reed. Hi, Xander Gibb. Hi, Sally O'Sullivan. Sabrina Neal. Marcia Toms. How are you, my darling?
How are you? Or actually, should do a swipe up on Instagram because people won't know we're live now. Do you want to do that while I say good morning?
No, because my phone's up there.
Oh, good morning, everybody. If you've just come over from Instagram, Kelly White, just do a swipe up. Morning, Kelly White. How are you? Morning, Aaron. Morning, Anita. Morning, Amy Smith. Kerry Saxon. Nina B. Don't forget, if you just come over from Instagram for the first time, give me lots of emojis and your name so I can say hello. Oh, there you go. Now, Sarah Perrymutter, you're not new, but I'll say hello anyway. Ali Watts, you're not new, but I'll say hello anyway. Morning, everyone. On a live, haven't been on a live forever. Ashley J, well, welcome. We missed you, Ashley.
How do I just do a... What do you use? A picture?
Oh, it's all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, I can't do it on yours. Morning, Linda Fissett. Hannah Wignall's waving. That's nice. Deborah Lansbury. Maureen McDonald. Good morning, Mark and Nadia and everyone. Can't wait for Mark's cooking tonight. Sarah Doolally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There'll be a funny apron involved. Good morning, Nadia and Mark. Jessica Greenslade.
Good morning.
Hello, Chivy D. Morning. Time for a rhyme, personalised poetry. I really want to binge watch Bling Empire, but my husband is here all the bloody time as there is no work because of COVID. I thought that was going to be a rhyme. That was funny. I was waiting for the poetry scan, but it was just a description of your frustration. It's not going to be. We should have said in our review, really, guys, we're getting very backlit here, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just a bad spot when it's.
We should have said. It's not necessarily going to be everyone's cup of tea, Bling Empire, for sure. You've got to be willing to kind of go down the slide of awful reality TV.
Had you already copied and pasted the link?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea. You've got to like reality. You've got to like peering into other people's lives.
But I would say of that genre, it's one of the more superior.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Not that I've watched thousands of them.
And we were just chatting over on Instagram about all the housewives shows that we love. Housewives of Beverly Hills. Housewives
You don't like Salt Lake City. I actually thought Salt Lake City had a more interesting component because of the Mormon religion.
Zoe is right. There is something about it. They're just a bit too tacky. As we talk about in our review of Bling Empire, you've got to have you've got to have somebody there that's a bit smarter. If it's just total brainlessness, it's very irritating. Would you agree, Zoe?
Oh, I mean, how much smartness is there in New York?
There's some real sassy. Are you joking? Bethany Frankel?
No, there have been in previous ones.
No, there's plenty of smart people in New York.
But the ridiculous woman who thinks her singing is good.
But you've got to at least have one. You've got to at least have one to pivot around. Otherwise, it just becomes a bit of a shit show.
No, of course. Bit of a shit show. Real Housewife. I have to say, though, we can't do those shows in this country. We just can't. It's like we said in the review of Bling Empire. We just can't. You point cameras at British people, smart peeps in New York City, absolutely so. You can't point the camera at people in the same way here. I mean, they've tried it with Real Housewives of Cheshire. And, you know, having made sort of obs doc stuff here, you have to work 20 times harder to get what just trips out of Americans that you film with. You really do.
Susie Offman, I love Vanderpump Rules. Mark's never watched that. Her house, those roses. Teresa Hills is new. Welcome, first time joining us. Welcome, Teresa Hills.
Is she the one married to the
Teresa Hills.
Welcome, Teresa. Is she the one who's Vanderpump, who's married to that remarkably odd little chap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rumour has it is a bit of a gangster. Can we write down Katie Swift's name so we can give her?
God, you're giving a lot of instructions today, aren't you? I can't get any flow here. You keep telling me to go off and do stuff.
Just because Katie Swift keeps saying, can you please remember my song? I don't want to lose Katie Swift.
I just can't.
You can give me the pen and paper.
That's all right, it's fine. That's good.
Don't be
my
difficult.
first time. Oh my God. You're being so annoying. You're not even aware of it.
Mark, I don't think you could say anything with that T-shirt on.
You called it, what did you call it earlier today? Below Dick.
Below Dick. Does anyone else watch Below Dick?
Heinz Feet. You made it. I've never seen your name before. Heinz Feet. Hello, Heinz Feet. Total Storm Addict. G'day, lovelies. Darn COVID, bushfires and floods over here in Australia. Shit's gone crazy. Oh, my God. So you get over COVID and then all that kicks in. Watched a couple in Cornwall last night. Loved it. Oh, Della. There is more Cornwall coming up. We have got vlog coming. I know a lot of people are asking questions about that. I felt sorry for Lisa Vanderpump in Real Housewives of Beverly. Which one was the one with the former wife of Charlie Sheen?
Oh,
Was that Beverly
that
Hills?
series was so brilliant.
That got very complicated.
Oh, that was so
She kept saying, what did she keep saying?
fantastic.
She kept saying a word that meant she thought she was out.
Yeah,
But they'd
no,
have-
she cut. She kept saying cut.
Did she?
No, she kept
No.
saying bravo, 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 because that's production.
Bravo,
cut.
that's right. She kept saying bravo. And
When she didn't like the way it was going, she would say bravo. They were so pissed off with
I
her.
dovetailed-
You actually see the producers telling her off.
I dovetailed between feeling really sorry for her.
Yeah, so did I.
I felt she was in a tricky relationship as well as
Yeah,
a tricky...
I didn't like him.
But I also felt that I felt a bit of a bear trap was being set for her. And I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something about that. I
No,
didn't
she did
particularly
something
like.
very wrong though. Where she went wrong was in the first series, she played it like I'm so open about sex and I talk about everything about sex.
Right.
She got bad responses to that. So in the second episode, she pretended she was something that she wasn't and kept trying to throw the other women under the bus as their parent. So that was why she was then pulverized by them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't want to get on the wrong side of these women, do you?
You do not.
I mean, I tell you what I would pay good money for is to be in a restaurant when they all come in to film one of their set pieces.
I know, because you know it's going to kick off.
A, you know it's going to kick off. B, you know you're going to be collateral damage. You're going to get involved in it somehow because one of them is going to go careening off into the distance and flirt with you. And then you'll be able to have some strange conversation with one of them. One of them accidentally pooed herself in the last series.
No,
of New
that
York.
wasn't New York.
It
It was New York. Yeah, it was.
She got out of bed and it flipped out.
I love this. May Boo. Apparently, he squashes her hand. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, he does. The husband of that one goes
saw
like
that.
that,
Yeah,
squeezes
I
her
thought
hand,
it, yeah.
didn't he? And he was like muttering under his breath, "I'll do something or other."
She was the reason I felt sorry
She
for her,
was very
and in that
controlled by
final
it.
chat where they do the kind of the review of the series, she looked like she was in a hostage because I could feel she was trapped between saying what she needed to say for him and what her contract obviously obliged her to say for the show.
Yeah. Sylvia Murphy, are you joking? Have we seen the Real Housewives of Jersey? We have seen every
Jersey?
single
No.
episode. Yes, we have.
Jersey, the island,
Yes.
like Guernsey.
New Jersey, Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I think she means Jersey as in the island Guernsey.
Oh, I didn't know there's one in Jersey.
Yeah, there's a new one set
Oh.
on the Isle of Jersey.
Will it be any good?
I
in
don't think it
Jersey
will because it'll be too close to
non-Americans?
England. Sabrina Nell bringing us back to reality. Hubby tested positive yesterday. He's worked all through COVID as supervisor of bin collection. Now he's laid up in bed. Oh, we can give a hello to Terry
Well,
Neal.
of course we can, Terry Neal. And in fact,
We've been
we
given-
were
yeah.
talking about bin men the other day, weren't we, on
Yeah,
Sunday?
absolutely.
Because Mark found this article that was... Go on, sorry, Johnny. it was you
Which
that did it.
article?
The article about how the increase in...
Oh,
just the weight of bins, because people at home, cardboard bottles... It was this... Do you remember? It was an
It was
interview
in
with
the
bin men.
Sunday. It was in the Sunday papers. They were just talking
Yeah.
about the inordinate amount of waste,
Extra work
extra
that-
waste, and extra weight, and stuff. And also, it's just. I think we all choose to think societally that we don't have to think about those people who are actually dealing with all our bloody waste and all our
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
And actually, they have to do it very safely, very consistently, and so a big shout out.
Yeah,
a
and
big shout out.
big shout
I'm
out to
so
Terry
sorry.
Neal, and thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Like so many of them,
Oh.
the frontline workers, which include bin men, supermarket workers, bus drivers. I mean, I'm obsessed with how they're not
Yeah.
further up the list for the vaccine.
Please rest up.
Facts.
Please rest
Bus
up.
drivers should be-
As Zan says, someone talking. I think it was Xander mentioned Captain Tom again. We were sort of talking about him yesterday. All our prayers again go out to his family, and it was rather horrendous to hear on the radio today. Lots of people kind of hammering him.
Tens of
Yeah,
thousands.
apparently hammering him or hammering his family
Him.
for going to Barbados and what have you. You don't know the nitty gritty. You don't know the ins and outs, and presumably you couldn't have flown if it was illegal. Is that right?
It wasn't illegal when
No.
he flew, and people say, "Oh yeah, I bet a 100-year-old man wants to go to Barbados." But you don't know. It might have been somewhere he'd always
Might
wanted
have
to
been a
visit with
bucket
his
list.
wife. It could have been. It's just this judgy atmosphere that has increased since COVID. Really bloody gets my back up. I don't know whether I'm even more sensitive to it because I'm on Loose Women and anything you say, you can
Yeah.
be. I just think, does it make you feel good when you just sit judging people all day?
Yeah. Well,
And if it does, maybe you should think of something else to do with your life.
I think there's a difference between. I think judging is one thing that's bad, but I do think, as Elsa Pop suggests here, I do think people are feeling a distinct sense of inequality, perhaps. Elsa Pop saying, hi guys, have you seen that they've allowed Captain Tom's family to visit him in hospital? Plenty of families would have loved that opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's hard.
There is inconsistency.
That is really hard because, how many of that's really hard to know.
That's really hard. That's really hard.
I mean, when I think of, I was watching something with Kate Garraway the other day. I don't know, I only know Kate as just passing by in the corridor, and obviously all the way through COVID. Nobody sees anybody because all your programs are separate. But I saw her talking online and saying, she's not able to see Derek at the moment. And you think, oh God, it's so hard. And you think about all the more than that, tens of thousands of people that haven't been able to. So I can see why that would. But it's okay to have those feelings. Like, it's okay to have the feelings about, well, really should he have gone to Barbados? But why people have to put it online in a nasty way, that's a completely different thing.
No,
and
I
just
agree.
think we've got to. I mean, there is more and more pressure now for online platforms to actually do something about that.
Yeah.
Because the way that people can just spout poison, it's just really damaging.
Gabrielle, talking about calling it South African variant isn't very kind to the people of South Africa as it encourages blame. Our borders should have been shut right from the start. I agree, but
except variants have always been named as John
where they
Campbell
come
said,
from.
where they come from. I mean, we've got the Kent variant.
the
Brazil. The only place we haven't been able to say it is, interestingly, we're not allowed to say the Wuhan virus.
or the China virus.
The China virus. We're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, that, isn't it? I was just going to say, the South Africa, obviously...
It was the WHO that deemed that we mustn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being strictly, there is an opportunity to be more culturally prejudiced based on culture with the China virus than a sort of regional definition of something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, historically, you could see that it would be used. So I can see why there is a slight distinction, to be fair. Would South African variant be here with closed borders? I want a yes/no from you guys. Would the South African variant be here with closed borders? This is maybe
fucking
furious.
cross about this today. As you know, we Jessica Frost. Yes, we will do. There was somebody else.
Anita O'Reilly, happy birthday.
We'll sing happy birthdays to people. Was it Anita? I saw one go up earlier. Yeah. We've been going on about these bloody borders on here, haven't we, for so long? And I just think now with this leaked document, well, not the document, but the Times say they have evidence that Sage asked the government, told the government that this sort of halfway house with the borders wasn't going to keep the variant out. No, it's just so frustrating.
Well, what's
like you said, 16 flights a day coming in from LA. Well, LA has a new variant as well.
Absolutely, Ashley.
So if we
Borders
get
should have
that
been closed from the
if we
borders.
get that one coming in as well.
I just can't, and I can't help but wonder. I mean, one of the postcodes isn't a million miles away from it. It's in Mitcham, and I can't help but feel that this slightly sort of there's two messages being sent out here. One is all the vaccines cope with this variant, it's
Morning,
fine.
Donna.
And then the other message that's being sent out is there's a bunch of people who look batshit crazy running around to your front doors, banging on your doors saying get tested, stay inside. Two very different messages, I feel, kind of optically there. And I think I can't help but wonder whether the variant isn't actually as potentially dangerous as it could be. I think the vaccines could be appropriate, but I think this could be more the government wanting to absolutely stamp it out so that this clear dereliction of making a clear decision on the borders, because even if it wasn't about stopping all flights, as a couple of people, I think B125 was suggesting we couldn't have done that, why didn't the quarantine hotels come in? Why didn't the mandatory quarantine hotels come in sooner and more convincingly for everyone landing?
Yeah, sorry. Actually, you're right. It's not about stopping all flights. It's about the mandatory hotels that in all the countries we've been saying here for the last year that have done that have managed to quash this. Now, I know all those countries have very different setups. I get that. You can't just do a straight swap on what would happen here. But the fact that we have just been unable to have any kind of official quarantine, and what we do is just ask people really nicely if they would self-isolate. And as John Campbell says, how do they get from the airport to where they're going?
Toffee said this
because by going
5 months ago.
What's that? Because when you travel to wherever you're going, your hotel, relative's house, whatever, you're taking that virus with you. I mean, it's laughable that they're saying just those postcodes. Do they really think that all those people in those postcodes haven't travelled to other postcodes?
I know, that's what I mean. In New Zealand, they're sealed like a drum. I mean, the point was not to do this
annoying.
permanently, but to do it. It's the fact that once again, and what really frustrates me is, it's easy for Matt Hancock to come out and tell us what we want to hear, which is we're going to have a happy, clappy summer. Say all of that, but also, can you demonstrate the ways in which you are ensuring that will happen more readily than constantly sort of waving the fact that, yes, it's brilliant that we've got the number of people vaccinated that we have, but that is far more down to the tireless work and the infrastructure, the NHS, the Public Health England, all the volunteers, all of the vaccination centres, GPs, surgeries, and all that sort of stuff. You know, at the end of the day, some of the most simplest solutions would have prevented this South Africa variant. Now, you can't prevent everything. It is like using a sieve to try
But
and
the
catch
next one is
water.
going to be LA.
Well, of course it is. I mean,
Isn't
there's
it?
16 flights coming in a day, and we're asking people rather than enforcing people to go into quarantine. I mean, someone made the point in Australia where they're incredibly strict. One of the security guards
Was
at one of the
having sex,
hotels,
wasn't
caught it, but then apparently went wandering off into all sorts of different places and did
He
spread it
was the
about.
super spreader. Yeah, he was having sex.
John
with-
Campbell was furious about that.
Yeah.
Furious. He's like, I bet he's not a very popular guy.
Oh, Deborah's been made redundant yet again.
Oh,
That's twice since
sweetheart.
COVID. Oh, Deborah. Can't go for interviews, etc. Shielding with
with
my
your
husband.
husband.
Oh, sweetheart. That's so hard. Big hug, Deborah.
Big hug. Big hug, Deborah. Oh, sweetheart.
Should we have a-
Ula quarantine. They could have sorted this, but have chosen not to. Shall we? What?
Can we just put down Jacqueline Frost?
Jacqueline
Is it
Frost.
your birthday?
Jessica Frost.
Oh, I see. She's asking if it's Jacqueline's birthday. It's okay. We don't know yet.
Millie Parfitt, they're saying the variant is just more contagious and they don't want our numbers to start rocketing again. Apparently the vaccine is able to battle it.
Well, differing opinions on that. They're hoping, and it looks very good that it will be able to, but they might have to give a little booster. Well, that's a massive deal. That means the 9 million we've already vaccinated would have to be vaccinated again with a booster.
Fauci's saying that
So-
every vaccine booster that comes will deal with a different variant, one after the other. So they're going to Well, I tell you what I'm unclear about. If you've been given the vaccine, I didn't get an answer on this from some guy who was
Yeah,
on
they
telly
did
last night.
yesterday. They
Yeah,
did
but what did they
answer.
say? Will they need to be
They said hopefully not, but if they have to give a little booster, they'll give a little booster. But it's very unlikely.
What, beyond the two original?
Very unlikely. That's what she said. Hopefully, very, very hopeful that. I mean, what's the new vaccine? Is that the Novak? John Campbell was saying yesterday they think that will have 60% efficacy on the new variants, but other ones have 80.
I think there's a big concern.
If they don't know, basically.
Tracy Mayhook, you kind of tap into a mood music comment here that I think is quite important. It feels harder to adhere to the rules when the news is all much more positive. I'm feeling really trapped this week. I think you're right. I felt that last night. I had to get out, fucking go for a walk around the block. But I think you're right. I think we're in a really tricky point here. We're at that sort of fulcrum point of kind of where we're in one state and we're wanting desperately to get into the other state. But if we rush too fast, we run the risk of doing irreparable damage, perhaps, and possibly. And I do think that the government need to be careful with the message they're putting out there at the moment. I think it was really confusing when Matt Hancock came out saying we're going to have a happy, clappy summer like 1966. It was really, on the one hand, we need hope, but we're all grown adults. We can all realistically look at the evidence and begin to think, okay, well, we do this, We don't need sort of stupid mess. Because I think in a weird way, I feel like I've had, my guard is coming down again a little bit. I feel like my guard is coming down a little bit because I just want to get out and I just want it to return to normal and I just want to sort of charge again. And I think if that's, and I'm looking at all the news and reading all the stuff. So if you're not that plugged in and you're sort of already a bit carefree anyway, it's just going to make people just think, oh, fuck it, sod it. We're near the end. It's that age-old adage, isn't it? Coming down the mountain's more dangerous than going up. You know that because you've come down mountains and you've really hurt yourself.
I have really hurt myself.
Yeah, she has.
I think we should have a little happy birthday song to break up this news.
What, before we go on to the awful story that is Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Anita. Happy birthday, Anita. Happy birthday, dear Anita.
O'Reilly.
Happy birthday to you.
In case there's any other Anita there whose it's birthday and it's not for you.
Happy birthday, Jessica.
Jesse.
Happy birthday, Jessica.
Jesse.
Happy birthday, dear
Jesse.
Jessica.
Frost.
Happy birthday to you.
Rachel Fraser saw a mug today which had British tits on it, a whole bunch of birds, and then Matt Hancock. Gave me a good laugh.
Matt Hancock featured.
You know what? There's something curious. Matt Hancock drives me mad, right? But there's something slightly... Is anyone else getting this? There's something quite
Oh, I
comforting.
wonder what you're going to say.
There's something strangely
Oh
comforting
my God,
about
that's
hearing
what I
his voice.
felt. It's because we've got Stockholm Syndrome.
I think it
Oh
might
my
be.
God,
No.
I felt that yesterday.
When he comes out...
Oh shit, things are worse than we first imagined. No. If we're finding Matt Hancock comforting, everything's gone tits up.
No, I know. It is worrying me. In much the same way that if he was to sort of release a yoga tape or a meditation tape...
Don't say we're going to start falling asleep to Matt Hancock.
We might. Yeah. And I'd be able to say to you, get your hand off my Hancock. Get your hand off my cock. People... Oh, look. She's actually struggling today and she's just pulling it together. She's pulling something out of the bag right now. What is that in that bag? I want to see that mug, Rachel Fraser. Insta story it and copy me in. Matt Hancock is a twat, Julie Naylor. There you go, she just said it as it is. Oh, get a room, says that. Xander's making a cauliflower-based pizza.
Oh yeah, they're lovely
Yeah.
those. I'm glad you remind me of that. I've got cauliflower. I might make one of those.
That was quite radical and
Oh
revolutionary.
my God, I have to make. We're going to start doing cooking.
Pop. Are you kidding, Mark? His voice goes through me like fingernails. No. It's weird.
It's Stockholm Syndrome.
Look, I'm saying this is awful. I'm not saying I'm pleased with this development, but there's some... he came on the other night on telly. This happened. It was a bit like the pie.
It happened to me. I didn't want to say it. I wasn't going to bring it up. I wasn't going to mention it. And now you've said it, it's become a thing.
It's like the Pied Piper. So I was sitting here, I was editing away, and I had my headphones on, and he came on, and I went like this.
Don't, Mark. Don't.
It was like I was being called. It's like he was a beacon. What is that? Why has Matt Hancock become comforting? His sort of bumbling ineffectiveness is sort of... It's less aggravating than Boris. Are they trying to hypnotise us?
Angela Locke says Matt Hancock has the right name. Maggie Say says, as soon as he speaks, I get annoyed.
Elsa Pop...
Diane Adams is struggling today.
Oh, Diane Adams, big hug.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Just
it's gone on far too long. You're absolutely right. Reese,
too long.
where's Reese Roberts? I love you. Where have you gone, Reese? You were just there, and you have to understand, guys. As frustrating as it is for you, it's also frustrating for us because these fly up so fast. Oh, Reese Roberts, you had a comment there. Oh, here you go. Mark and Nadia, you guys have to see Palmer on Apple TV and Penguin Bloom on Netflix. Two very touching films.
Write them down.
I'm writing them down. And what's this hotel drama that someone was saying on Instagram? Or hotel
That
documentary?
was Lee. It's a documentary about a hotel where murderers have stayed.
Oh, right. What was I going to say? Now, Marilyn Manson. I've only ever known of Marilyn Manson as...
Can I just answer Faith? You don't have to, because aubergines are better these days. But one thing I would say, if you salt them, and then what happens is that a lot of the water is drawn out, so they don't take up as much oil as when you fry them. But also, if you don't want as much oil, just put them in a hot oven, brush them with olive oil, and put them in a hot oven with salt.
Maureen McDonald. Mark, you didn't fancy Bridgerton, but you liked in the end. I told you would like a bit naughty, though. You were right. You're absolutely right.
We listened to you, Reece.
Yeah, we listened to you. No, Maureen. This was from Maureen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Palmer.
No, I just said Maureen. Mark, you didn't fancy Bridgerton, but you liked it in the end. I told you you'd like it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we did a review of Bridgerton yesterday, guys, and of Bling Empire. Check it out.
Yeah. Thanks, Miss Dunn. Nice T-shirt. You've probably mentioned it already. I think I showed it on Instagram. Look, I feel sad.
Oh, thank
I
you,
feel
Sabrina.
Happy.
Big love back.
Same facial expression for every emotion. That's exactly how I feel at the moment. It's strange, isn't it? I feel all these things, but you look at me and I'm just like that.
Susie Othman, are you in the Isle of Man?
You're free.
Susie!
I thought you can flash your tits.
Mark?
Well, you suddenly went like that. You normally
What? Is
go
that a flashing the tits position?
Yes, because you...
No, it's not.
You go like that.
It's a pissed off
Whenever
position.
I never thought I'd be married to one of those women who's the kind of woman who flashes her boobs.
Who thinks this is a flash your boobs position?
Babe, with all due respect, have you looked at your Instagram feed?
That is not a flash your boobs.
Could be anything.
That's a flash your boobs.
Told you it was coming. It's always coming. It's always just about to come. And sometimes if I call it, it happens, and I get very excited. She's a flasher. Marilyn Manson. Now, I had no opinion on Marilyn Manson before this story.
This is such a horrible story.
All I know is that he's a very, very odd-looking man, and that's his thing, isn't it? That's the cut of his jib. That's it.
Has Rose McGowan come out?
So 4 women have claimed to be suffering from PTSD from alleged abuse by Manson. Now, one of those women, interestingly, during the Harvey Weinstein crisis, I remember I posted something and Rose McGowan reached out to me. It was so sweet. She was like really thanking us for talking about it. Now, My worry and concern with all of this is that there's always such a quick rush to rubbish or query or question those who accuse or those who suggest they've had a problem. But I have to tell you that I think these women will not do this unless they've really heavily considered what's been going on. Now, Marilyn Manson has been accused of abuse, grooming and coercion by multiple women. Now, these kind of accusations that I've read have been thrown at his representatives for many years. This isn't like new. He'll have been shielding and fielding these kind of accusations for many, many years. And Evan Rachel Wood, who you'll know from Westworld.
Such a good actress.
She's a very good actress. She was dating him when she was 19 and he was 38. She's alleged that she was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. And she says, I'm done living in fear of retaliation, slander or blackmail.
Wow, wow.
It's a very, I mean, I went online to check that the post was still there, just, you know, in these litigious times. And,
I see.
and she's posted it on her Instagram feed. So if you go to Evan Rachel Wood, you'll be able to see.
So she says, the name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known in the work to the world as Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I mean, you should read it out.
He started grooming me when I was a teenager, horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. Done living in fear of retaliation, slander or blackmail. I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims, sorry, who will no longer be silent. Wow, blimey. That's a big deal to do that. Yeah. So, of course, he's come out and...
Well, he's obviously batting it away, saying it's a total misrepresentation of me.
They were complicit.
They were complicit. So he hasn't actually said, you know, I think his inference here is that he's into some kind of weird shit. And his conventional approach to relationships probably isn't what most of us understand to be conventional approaches to relationships, which the reason I'm sort of choosing my words around this quite meaningfully is we watched an episode of First Dates the other night. And there was a chap on it who was into, I forget the exact abbreviation, something, S&M, but it's a particular BD, something. And he was talking about it very much in a very intense and I thought quite a measured way about it being something that he's been ashamed of and worried about and wanted to be open with. And he was open about it with a woman who herself was consensual and they both gravitated towards each other. So I want to sort of stress at the outset, there are different types of relationships. I don't get it myself, but there are different types of relationships. But I think he's coming from the place of suggesting that those are the kind of relationships he had.
That's interesting. His former publicist in the US told The Independent that they no longer worked with Manson and that they believe and support survivors of abuse.
There you go.
Wow, that's quite a statement, isn't it?
In 2009, Manson was quoted in a Spin article as saying of Wood, I have fantasies every day about smashing her skull in with a sledgehammer. Well, I think... Well,
that's nice.
I think, you know, yeah.
His PR team responded by saying the comment was obviously a theatrical rock star interview promoting a new record and not a factual account. Sorry, nah.
But you see,
you don't get to say that.
But that's where I get really frustrated with that kind of world. And I do think it's easy to. I do think the world of rock and roll, a lot of awful behaviour can be hidden behind the fact that it's part of a rock and roll lifestyle. I mean, I think Hollywood now with the Weinstein, I'd like to think that that's been kind of...
Weinstein, have
no,
we, in the
we
rock
haven't.
And roll world?
And if you think about, I mean, my mum talks about being a groupie and going to, you know, if you think about what was actually going on in the 60s and 70s, it was deeply, deeply suspicious. I mean, a lot of very young people in potentially very vulnerable situations with older men in very...
What I'm confused is has Ros McGowan come out in support,
well,
or has something happened to her as well with...
Yeah, well, Rose McGowan has 4 other women are claiming the same thing. And obviously here, I haven't seen this yet. This has just broken this morning. Manson, my ex, when he was with me, he was not like... Oh, well, maybe he was not like...
What?
Weird top thing to have at the top. Ashley Walters writes, I continue to suffer from PTSD.
Struggle with depression.
I don't know why they have Rose McGowan at the top and they don't mention her once in the article.
Oh my God, with half a line.
Yeah.
Is this the Mail Online by any chance?
Have a look go to Rose McGowan's Instagram account. I think it might be that. But anyway, so, you know, as with all these things, we're never going to be privy to the absolute truth here. But I think we can all... Do you think the next generation... That's a good question, Helen Fatherley. Do you think the next generation of celebrities are better? But I think the next generation of celebrities, if you like, have to be better behaved.
They have to.
Because there's such a spotlight
And because more and
There's
more
such a
women have the
spotlight,
courage to
Yeah.
say, actually, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Just curious to see what she said.
But I am mostly proud. Proud of
Oh, no.
Evan, Rachel Wood, and the
To-
other.
to-
Oh, hang on.
Oh, right.
How do I go back to the beginning?
This is Rose
I'm
McGowan on Instagram.
disgusted.
Hold it up.
But I am mostly proud. Proud of Evan, Rachel Wood, and the others who've come forward against Marilyn Manson, my ex. When he was with me, he was not like that, but that has no bearing on whether he was like that with others before or after. It takes time to come forward. And again, I am proud of these women and anybody who stands against an abuser. They steal time. These are time eaters. They steal lives. They steal hopes, dreams, freedom, sexuality, love. And I'm also here to say to the Hollywood cult leaders that have employed him
Whoa.
and sanctioned him, and Interscope Records and Sony was with him during
This
the
YouTube
Wow.
won't like this
Oh
woman.
my God.
You know, you
Well,
are
turn it off then.
accomplices. All
Yeah,
the
I'm
PR
going to say, because you
and-
can't do that, can we? Can't play somebody else's.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I mean, it's not copyrighted. But you were kind of wanting to... I don't understand what happened there. What were you not wanting to put on?
Well, no, I just thought we can't
No,
play
you
somebody
can't.
else on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. You could if it's a social media post. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That was straight. I don't know when did she post that. Just out of interest. That's obviously just broken this morning.
Sad.
So obviously around the
12 hours ago.
Oh, 12 hours ago. So obviously around the story there are other people coming out, and I think that's one of the issues around the whole topic, isn't it? Is this idea of should people go public, and this is one of the arguments for going public, isn't it? Is that right?
Well, I think because it gives courage, you know. It's like I've said before, the person that pounced on me years ago that I never ever spoke about because I was embarrassed, because it felt embarrassing. It felt I was naive and all of that. And I don't need to go into that. But my point with that is, if I were to come forward, if other women did, I mean, it definitely happened. He definitely did what he did. There's no doubt about it. But if they said to me, as you all know, what day was this? What time was this? What was the address? What had you eaten? Which are all the questions, the kind of things that you're asked. I wouldn't be able to remember a single thing. And that's why she said, time, they eat up time, because the more time goes on, the more difficult it becomes. And so when the police are accused of not doing proper police work and throwing out a fishing net, I actually don't agree with that, because what happens is they then gather the information without any of those people talking to each other, and it's about seeing the same stories come up over and over again. They usually have a particular way in which they work, don't they, these people? I mean, look at Weinstein over and over again. He did exactly the same thing.
But can I just share, I don't want to go into the finer details of this, but we had a situation where we had to liaise with the police a few years ago about something that was happening, and it was happening to someone we knew who was a woman. And when we all sat down with the police, the first approach to the subject, and we were surrounded by 4 police officers, 2 women, I think 1 woman and 2 men, but it was a man who was doing the principal questioning. We had a statement of fact of something that I had also witnessed alongside the other people in the room that had also witnessed this.
We all had witnessed it.
We all had observed it with our own eyes, seen it, had tried to actually record it in order to demonstrate proof. And I can't go into the finer details about it.
Yeah, we can't.
But the first line of questioning from the police was to query the validity of what we'd seen.
Well, no, query the fact that you'd filmed what was happening.
Queried,
And they said that you could be done for that.
But then the inference was, are you sure that's
Yeah.
not really what you saw,
Yeah,
was it?
yeah, it was
That's
quite
not really what you
to
saw.
watch it before your very eyes.
I was
when you
gobsmacked.
absolutely know something's happened, because not only have you seen it, but you filmed it.
Yeah, gobsmacking.
I keep
Absolutely
hearing
gobsmacking.
something. What is on?
It might be my headphones.
Driving me mad the whole way through.
Yeah, so there we go. So that's the Marilyn Manson drama. Jane Bentley, I was abused and I've no recollection psychologically. I blanked it out.
Well, we watched one of those the other day on I'm a
Jane.
Killer, a similar situation.
Your book's gone out,
And
by the way, Jane.
oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God, and this poor man's on death row,
Yeah.
and he had to blank out for so many years. So I think what she says there is really true. Time is their
Exactly.
is their friend.
Exactly. And Sabrina Neal says, unfortunately, the fear of not being believed often makes us keep the secret for life.
Absolutely. Well, like with me, what happened with me, I wouldn't be able to answer a single question of the detail that they would ask me. So I would just think, I would feel, and you do feel ashamed when you're in a position where you have been totally oblivious and then something happens, you feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Why should you feel like a fucking idiot? Because you're trusting, because you can't believe that people would behave the way that they behave. So, yeah.
Thank you. Kind words from Salsa Trish. My gorgeous purse from Izzy arrived this morning. Love it. What a talented daughter. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's
Thank you
so
much.
lovely. Thank you, support.
Yeah, and
she's doing so well.
And she's experimenting with her products as well, because she's just finding it so enjoyable. So she spent an enormous amount of time making a cushion cover, a beautiful cushion cover. But as she said, it took her the same amount of work and effort to make the cushion cover as it did to make however many purses and things. But she's loving doing it. Yeah. She's loving you getting to know her. So,
and she puts so much into it. She doesn't just get scraps of old
she really goes
fabric
searching
she
and
can search. Everything's got a story. I love the way she writes on her Instagram as well, because I've always said Izzy should be a writer. That's Izzy's future as a writer.
Yeah,
she's a great writer like her dad.
Hit the thumbs up, guys. Do hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed our natter. Obviously,
I think we've got to do a couple of...
Yes, we do. A welcome to Katie Swift. We've done those birthdays.
Katie Swift, Katie Swift, Katie Swift, Swift, Katie Swift. Katie Swift, Katie Swift, Katie Swift.
Okay.
Welcome.
So that was Nadia's version.
Why are you talking? You always talk over my song.
Because it was a marching band number.
I feel like marching.
Katie Swift, let me woo you to my nest. Katie Swift.
Darling,
Katie
that sounds
Swift,
disgusting.
I am really not in jest. Don't really know what I'm saying there. Guys, have a lovely day. I did promise a Cornish vlog yesterday, but we got busy with other shit, and a couple of reviews went up. One for, if you really fancy just poking your eyes into a different world, Bling Empire is totally the trick. Bridgerton, if you're a doubter or if you're on the fence and you're not too sure, check out our review, because I was surprised by it. But there will be a Cornish vlog. There's only one or two more left. Nadia was vlogging away this morning, so vlogs are on their way.
Real vlogs back. And also we're going to be doing a series of cooking films.
Somebody did mention this.
Which is dinner in under 15 minutes. So they're not going to be live. They're going to be edited. Well, no, we're going to cook them as live. We're going to cook them as live, because you know how with a lot of these, cook your dinner in under 15 minutes. As long as you've got everything chopped out and everything. Yeah. So we're going to cook it as in real. We're going to do it all in real time.
There's a lack of food on the main channel. We reckon.
Yeah, so we're going to start doing more food on the main channel. And what else was I going to say? Oh, tonight Mark is cooking in the family guest area.
Oh, let's see the result of
I've got to go to the dentist, so it might not be 6:30. We will keep you informed. It's probably going to be nearer 7.
So the question was, in what should Mark cook tomorrow? Dressed normally with a comedy apron, 44%. In pants with comedy apron, 15%.
Did you give them the option of just being dressed as a normal person?
Yeah, dressed normally with comedy apron.
Oh, right, you've got your clothes underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
In pants with comedy apron, in socks with comedy apron. As someone pointed out to me, though, elsewhere, in a true democracy, the two bottom ones have got it. But no, it didn't work like that. It's a 3-way referenda.
Do you want to be undressed?
No, I don't. I was just making it a bit of fun. I was just giving it a bit of fun.
You're being weird.
I could just do it in my hat. No, anyway, so I'll be dressed normally with a comedy apron, unless there's a sudden rush.
I'm a new member and I can't find Teddy on the No Name Sunday show.
Maureen McDonald is right at the end.
He's in every single show.
He's right at the end of the episode, unless he's mysteriously vanished.
I must tell you where my top's from. Everyone keeps asking about this, and she's a small business. So let me just find it for you.
So I'm just going to go into the Sunday show and double check that he's there. So if you go to the playlist, the Sunday show, and you trot along to approximately right towards 5 minutes towards the end of every episode is Dear Teddy. And no, he must be there, because everyone, there he is. I can see him. So there you go. He's always at the end. He's the last thing. He's like the thought for the day. He's like Oprah's thought for the day. He's Teddy's thought for the week. And we love him. We love him. God, I tell you what I really miss is having your mum and dad over and then making us piss ourselves
I really
laughter.
am missing them.
It's getting so frustrating.
So annoying.
So frustrating.
My
So
mum's
guys,
no,
yeah.
that's another thing.
Angela Lott, my brother. Oh, what was that? Sorry, Angela Lott. Again, it just flew up like a nutter. Sorry. Faith Goodman, Bridgerton, too much sex. I agree with you. Yeah, I think some people might find that. I personally didn't find it too much, but I can see why. I would love to see Mark wearing a woman's dress, Sarah Moran.
I wouldn't.
Nikki McKenna, loved Teddy last night. Can't wait for next week. Selena Lou Fogg, I've started reading your book, even though I'm not a parent. I'm loving it. Oh, good, good. Love Teddy Talks, Deborah Holdsworth. Stormtrooper.
Trying to find the name of this T-shirt.
Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly.
I'll put it on my
Jackie
Instagram,
Connolly,
guys.
Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly. You just move in now. Jackie Connolly.
What's this?
Jackie, new member. Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly. Going out. Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly, Jackie Connolly.